Welcome to the Tabletop Gaming Guild podcast all about the experiences and memories that playing games with friends and families can create. Tonight we're doing a playthrough of a game that I have been very excited about for quite some time, and that is Vaesen by Free League Publishing. It is a Nordic horror role-playing game, and so I have appropriately made role-playing characters for everybody here. We've got James, Nathan, Dan, Evan, and Becca. So, the more the merrier, and we're looking forward to running the game. We are going to be playing through the adventure that comes in the core rulebook for Vaesen, and that is Dance of Dreams. So if you are somebody who is hoping to play this game at some point and you don't want any spoilers, you don't need to listen to this, but you're going to be missing out. If you're somebody who is hoping to run the game, then I hope that you will listen and gain some knowledge of the game and maybe inspire you to run it for your friends all that much sooner. So without further ado, everybody, we're gonna do this thing. So prior to the game tonight, prior to this recording, I did go ahead and share with the players their invitation to the session. So a mystery is what it's called when you're playing Vaesen, and each mystery starts with an invitation to the mystery. The player characters all received a letter sealed in red wax with a seal that says Clint, and the letter contains a handwritten note advertising a shadow play called The Dance of Dreams. And this is what the letter said. The Dance of Dreams, a shadow play of horror, murder, and revenge. Let yourself be enraptured and terrified by shadow theater with clockwork as amazing as that of the master's constructions on the continent. Watch as evil smiles, good people go to their doom, and spirits come to life. Follow Oscar Hort's encounter with the Black One, his struggle, and finally the betrayal which claimed his life. Hear the tunes of the enchanted flute that sends souls dancing to hell. The show will premiere shortly at the Witch Cat Inn, not for the faint of heart. And on the note, someone has written, "Meet me tonight at the Witch Cat Inn, Olas." Following the invitation, everybody used the preparation stage of the mystery to roll some learning tests. The Vaesen game system has a system where you're rolling a bunch of D6s depending on your skill and attribute you are using for the test. So for the learning test, each person had to use their logic as well as their learning to roll that many D6, and only D6s count as successful. One of our players did not succeed at all. The others succeeded. I'm going to now ask each of them to share the information they learned from that successful test. And I would like to start with Viola, who is being played by Becca. Becca, would you read what I wrote there for you so that the rest of the group knows and the listeners know what you learned from your learning skill test?
Yeah, of course. When Viola reads the note, the first thing that catches her attention is the mention of the shadow play. She once was able to sneak into a small shadow play theater to catch a show, and it mesmerized her. She then had spent some time sneaking into a library to read books about shadow puppetry. This is what she remembers from the books she read. Shadow theater originated in India and China, where it was practiced several centuries before Christ. Cut-out paper figures are held up to a source of light which creates shadows on a cloth screen. A skilled puppeteer can manipulate the puppets and the light so that the figures appear to be alive. The art form came to Italy in the 18th century and continued to spread across Europe. Artists in England and France have experimented with clockworks to create automated shadow theaters.
All right, next, if we could have Alfred, played by Dan, go ahead and tell us what Alfred learned from his learning test.
Alfred's attention is caught by the name Oscar Hort. It rings a bell. He begins to search the Society's archive to find the name Oscar Hort. The list of Society members mentions a man named Oscar Hort who lived in the late 18th century. He worked as a writer and spent some time in Paris studying under François Dominique Sarafin, a famous artist who put on shadow plays for the court at Versailles and the Palais Royal.
Fantastic. And if we could have Nathan, who is playing the character Hugo, tell us what he learned from his learning test.
I remembered reading in a journal by Leanne Elf Clint, the lady who brought us all together. This journal was in the Society's library, and it mentioned the Witch Cat Inn. I retrieved this journal, and it says in this journal, the Witch Cat Inn is at a crossroads north of Sigtuna. When the society was rebuilt after the Great Ulu fire at the end of the 18th century, the inn was used as a gathering place. As the innkeeper at the time, Piri Harujula, I'm going to murder these names, was a Thursday's child. He then follows up by sending the telegraph to Sigtuna. From the telegraph response, he learns that the innkeeper is now run by Piri's grandson, Sami Harjula.
All right. So some of our listeners might be picking up that this game has a lot of odd names in it, and that is because, again, it is a Nordic horror-themed game. So the game takes place in that region of the world in an alternative 19th century. And so things are going to be a little bit older. We're not going to have cars all over the place. We're mostly going to be traveling in horse-drawn carriages, and we also will have a lot of interesting names. You also heard a mention of a Thursday's child, and that is an individual who has the ability to see Vaesen even when Vaesen wish not to be seen. Vaesen are mythological creatures that wreak havoc on humanity, and our players are playing part of a group of society members who are tracking down Vaesen and helping to either put them to rest or appease them or banish them forever. And our last player is Evan, at least our last player who has information to give us is Evan, who is playing Madge.
So Madge follows up on Hugo's information by searching for anyone with the name of Olas in Sigtuna. She discovers that there's a private detective in the town named Olas Clint. He has a small house in the middle of the city. Olas has made a name for himself as an expert in cases involving the occult.
And our last player is James. James, can you introduce your character?
I am Ingrid. I am devoted to the society and learning. I wish to be able to learn more about Vaesen and be able to harness their power.
And he also looks forward to rolling some successes in the future.
Yes, successes in the future will be great. I will say, I don't like this Olas at all, and Viola should spend less time with puppets and learn more about the society.
Less time with puppets. All right. So with that information, the new members of the society who are working to regrow the society from the ashes to which it has fallen, they are now off on their very first mystery. I'm going to go ahead now and read aloud the narrative written for the journey portion of this mystery. It is fall when you leave Uppsala in a coach heading south, and there's a terrible storm raging. Black clouds blanket the sky with the wind howling and rain and hail pouring down, leaving you soaked to the skin. Lightning cracks across the sky and thunder makes the horses rear and whinny, but the coachman drives them on with his whip. The journey takes 3.5 hours, and the storm grows increasingly violent as you progress. Through the coach window, you see Lake Malar in the west, its foaming waves splashing against the shoreline. Traveling through a pine forest, you see tall trees being knocked to the ground by tempestuous winds or split by lightning strikes. In the flashes of lightning, you see large rocks among the trees, moss-covered lumps staring back at you. Suddenly, the Witch Cat Inn appears at a T-junction, surrounded by woods, with Lake Malar to the north and west. It seems to be the only building around. The coachman is eager to drop you off and continue on his route south to Sigtuna. Halfway between the inn and the small community in the distance, you see a lonely church tower protruding from the trees. Standing on the porch of the Witch Cat Inn, you see an individual. He seems to be leaning against one of the posts with his jacket collar high up around his face. He's smoking a cigarette, and he seems to be waiting for someone. Seeing the coach pull up, he straightens up, stands tall, tosses the cigarette to the ground, and grinds it out with the heel of his boot. You all step forth from the carriage. The wagon driver drives on, and he introduces himself to you as Olas Clint. You've come. You got my letter. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm just gonna go ahead and greet him, tell him I am pleased to make his acquaintance, and do a short round of introductions with the group.
When he mentions my name, I scowl at him. Scowl at Clint, that is.
Oh, at Clint. Okay. All right. So you were standing outside of the Witch Cat Inn. Olas Clint has welcomed you and says, I've invited you here to the Witch Cat because I'd heard of strange happenings here. Individuals having strange dreams and encounters that they felt were of a mystical or a supernatural essence. I came here to do a little observation myself about a week ago and felt a very strong, unnerving presence here, one that I did not feel adequately prepared to face on my own. Having heard from Linnea Elfclint, that you were each trying to rebuild the society, I thought it best to maybe see if you all could come and help with this investigation.
I asked Ollis, did you have any of these dreams?
No, I have not had any strange dreams. I do live in the town just south of here, but I've heard that those who have the dreams are those who stay here overnight, and I was unprepared to take on that endeavor by myself.
Did any of them explain their dreams to you?
No, I've not actually done. I've not spoken to them individually. I've just heard tale that there have been some of these dreams. But there are people who are here now, and he points to the building, and you can see through the windows that there is light coming from the inn, and you can hear voices speaking just on the other side of the entrance to the inn. There are people here now, staying here. Maybe we could speak to them and see if they have had any experiences themselves, or if they could maybe give us any ideas about what's happening here.
Alfred, should we go in?
Well, getting out of the rain sounds like a good idea to me, so yes.
I'm very interested to see if they're all having the same dream or if it's many dreams.
So I guess I start walking into the inn.
So you walk forward and you open the door, and the building itself is about 2 stories tall, and from the outside is looking pretty dilapidated. And as you step into the inn itself, the dampness that you were hoping to get away from still pervades this space. You do see a fire going in the fireplace, and you hear people talking. You see probably somewhere on the range of 7 to 10 people here walking in and out. You hear voices back in the kitchen just off to your left as you walk in. And in front of you is a decent-sized dining room where individuals are seated to dinner and trying to shake off the chill of the cold, wet evening, but it doesn't look like they're having a lot of luck doing so. Some of them are definitely seated a little closer to the fire than probably they normally would be on a warm evening. You do see a waiter who kind of comes in real quick and drops off some food at the tables and then heads back off, speaking loudly into the kitchen. You can hear him speaking with somebody who you assume might be a cook in the back. You do see a young lady, probably in her early 20s, also making her rounds through the room. And standing at the bar, you see a rather large, slightly angry-looking gentleman. And Olas will lean in close as you step in out of the rain and say, "That is Sammy. He is the innkeeper here."
Do I see a stage where the shadow puppet theater would occur?
So you begin to look around, trying to figure out where in this dank space would be a decent place for a shadow puppet play. And again, you would have heard the information that this is going to need a curtain of some kind. So you're looking maybe for a cloth hanging and maybe some sort of light that could be given to put up the shadows on the curtain. And you see nothing like that in this space.
Makes me wonder what the puppets are actually going to be.
I'm gonna approach Sammy, I think you said his name was, and ask him whether I can see the puppets in advance of the show. I would like to examine them and kind of see what they're all about.
So you walk up and you speak to Sammy about the puppets and want to know if you can see them. Sammy, standing there cleaning a glass, looking at everyone in his inn seated to dinner, looks up at you and says, "Stranger, I don't know what puppets you're speaking of. I have no puppets here. I have food for dinner. I have rooms for a rest for the night. But no, there's no puppets here."
Interesting. Forget I said anything. So what is there any events planned for today or tonight? Or is it just dining and rest?
Dining and rest is all I offer. A drink or two as well, I'm sure, but no puppetry. As he says that, he's kind of looking around the room a little bit. You get the feeling he's not paying attention to you at this moment.
While he's being distracted, or not, I'm just going to mingle in the crowd. I'm going to see sort of like what kind of other people are here, see if I can't strike up a random conversation to see, why other people are in their area.
Yeah. So as you look around the room, you do see a few individuals. You see a gentleman that you take to be a priest. He wears his collar so that he stands out, and he has on the seat beside him, an empty seat beside him, a very wide brimmed dark hat, and he sits alone at a table near the fire, currently eating what looks to probably be a chicken dinner. You do see another table a little distance from him where there is a lady seated by herself, fairly well-dressed individual, also having her dinner. And then you see one more gentleman currently eating, but he seems to mostly be focusing on his drink. His plate is mostly untouched. You do see then also the waiter who comes and goes every so often from the kitchen. So from the dining room, when you walked into the building, the kitchen would be to your left, and then just beyond the kitchen and to the left, you see a set of stairs going upstairs. And then just beyond the stairs, you see a door leading to another room.
Now, in the mingling of the peoples here, I'm assuming it's men, women, children.
You don't see a lot of children here. Probably the youngest person you've seen so far is the young lady who walked through the room earlier when you first came in. She's not in the room right now, but she looked to be probably in about her early 20s or so. Everyone else seems to be more of an adult age. We have the priest looks to be probably, you think, maybe mid-50s, early 60s. The well-dressed woman, probably somewhere in her 30s to 40s. And then the gentleman focusing mostly on his drink, wearing rather tattered clothing, but heavy and worn clothing, seems to be probably also in his 40s to 50s.
I think I'm going to spend my time near the fire warming and just kind of listening to what people were talking about.
Okay. Head over to the fire. Anybody else?
I'm going to go sit down by the fire, but I'm going to bust out my crystal ball and use it to see if I can observe clues through it.
Oh, okay. So you head over to a chair close to the fire and get out a crystal ball. You lay it out on the table for all to see, or do you try to hide it as you look into it?
I'm a very reserved person,
Mm-hmm.
so I will keep it close to me.
Okay. All right.
I believe I will try to strike up a conversation with the priest.
Okay.
I was also gonna see if I can get like 2 drinks and go to the rough-looking guy that's basically pull out a notebook and ask for his life story and give him one of the drinks.
Oh, okay. So you're going over to the rough-dressed gentleman drinking?
Yep,
Okay. And you offer him another drink, or you ask for a drink?
I offer him another drink.
Okay. He will heartily take another drink. He sets down the glass he currently holds, which is almost empty, but not quite. But when you say that you're ordering him up another drink, he immediately looks. And what do you make like a call for the waiter, or?
Yeah, I ask the waiter and see if I can get a drink for each of us.
Yeah. So the waiter will come over and immediately bring over 2 more drinks, handing you one and handing the other to the gentleman. The gentleman smiles at you, nods, and says, "You're not from here. I've never seen your face before. Thank you for the drink, though." And as he says it, you can kind of hear a slight slur, as though he's already been at the drink for a little while.
I peer over because I'm interested in what Viola is going to do.
I would like to. I think I'm also going to hang out by the fire and try to eavesdrop and see what other people are saying.
Okay. All right. So, 2 who are doing the eavesdropping, I would like you to go ahead and take a look at your character sheets and let me know which ability and skill you believe would work best for that type of check.
So I feel observation would probably fit.
All right, so observation. And observation is an empathy check. So empathy, your skill match, it looks like you have a 3 in empathy and a 2 in observation. That means you would be rolling 5d6s hoping for at least 1 6 for success. And what about you, Viola? Do you feel like empathy and observation is a pretty decent choice for that?
That feels appropriate.
All right. So what do you have in those two, the skill in that attribute?
I have a 4 in empathy and a 1 in observation.
All right. So that's going to be another 5. So the two of you can go ahead and make your first roll as you try to listen in to any conversations that may be taking place.
Well, I hope other people roll better than I did.
What was your roll?
I have 4 5s and 1 2.
4 5s and 1 2. All right. So what about Viola?
Give me 1 second. I'm still rolling.
Absolutely.
All right, I got 1 6.
You got 1 6. So Viola, you notice as you're listening in, you see coming towards you rather aggressively. You see coming towards you and Madge, Sammy, the owner of the inn. As you see him coming, you have just kind of like a split second to react to this aggressive nature that he's coming at you with. Madge, you do not see this as you're too taken in trying to hear what others are talking about.
Noted.
Feel like I can't really try to stealth to hide from him when he's quite clearly already coming at me. Guess I will just hold and prepare for whatever has gotten him so upset.
He walks up and looks at the two of you. We eat at dinner at the Witch Cat Inn. Please have a seat and order some food.
Oh, of course. My apologies.
He looks at both of you very leery, and you get the feeling that he has noticed that you're more interested in what other people are doing than yourselves, and he's not taking very kindly to that.
I will apologize and say I'm sorry, but as you know, it is quite cold out there, and we were in a wagon, or we were in a carriage for many hours. And a warm fire to take the chill off of our bones seemed to be the most pressing need at the time. But we will certainly go and find our way to some food and drink.
He kind of nods towards you, huffs a little bit, and turns around and walks back to the bar leading in towards the kitchen. Hugo, Nathan, you're sitting with the gentleman in the rougher clothing, and he introduces himself finally to you as he has finished his glass that you have ordered for him. The name's Jonathan. I farm the lands near here. What brings you to Sigtuna and the Witch Cat Inn?
I'm just a writer looking for interesting stories, and you seem like an interesting fellow. I'm sure some exciting things have happened to you, especially probably something recently. Anything recently exciting happened in your life?
Interesting to me. No, I just plow the field, till the field, plant the seed, sell the crop, same old, each day, in and out, for years.
That was the most depressing sentence ever.
I basically
Close to it, yeah.
would.
I feel about as good as the witch cat looks.
Oh, oh, what has you feeling so down? It sounds like you have a solid job and you have a consistent job and consistent income. What has you down?
Well, have you been around Sigtuna?
I'm not from here, I have to admit.
You are a lucky one. There's nothing too interesting there, but when you ask about me, are you really interested in me? What would cause a writer to ask about a poor farmer? What really brings you here?
Of course I'm interested in you. I mean, you are the heart and soul of this land. You farm the land. You bring life to this land. Who could be more important than you?
That it's weird. I mean, it does seem to brighten his mood a little bit as you talk him up. Well, I mean, I guess there, nothing really interesting has happened to me, but some things have happened around here. And he leans in a little close, and you smell the alcohol pouring out of his mouth, out of his pores, and you start to think he looks a little drunk, but he might be a little bit more than what I thought. And he says, there have been things happening here specifically. And he kind of motions for you to lean in a little closer.
I do.
Things.
I put a hand around his shoulder so I can get really close.
Things have been happening here in the inn.
What kind of things?
Well, a few of the locals who have stayed here. They wake up and speak of nightmares.
Have you had these nightmares yourself?
He kind of looks around, and you see his eye for a second over towards the bar, and he sees that Sammy still seems to be pretty distracted over there. Yes, I have had dreams.
You don't seem comfortable talking about it here. Do you want to get a drink and talk about it somewhere? Maybe in a room upstairs where we can have some privacy?
I haven't got the coin for a room tonight, so I was just planning to stumble back home afterwards.
Would I have enough coin for a room?
What is your resource number on your sheet?
3.
Hugo? You have a 3. Yeah, you would have enough to be able to pay for a room for the night.
Okay, so I talk to Sammy,
Mm-hmm.
see if I can get 2 more drinks and a room, and we'll talk privately. I also kind of want to see if I can catch the eyes of the group and let them know I'm going upstairs.
Okay. Yeah. You stand, and it's not a large room. You think it's probably pretty good chance that everybody would catch a glimpse of you standing up and leaving the space. You walk over to Sammy, and Sammy takes your coin, and he calls out for Sven, and Sven you see is the waiter who had brought you your drinks previously, comes out and takes your order, gets you both a glass, and Sammy says, it's 1 to a room.
That's okay. The room's for him. I just want to have a conversation where we can have some drinks where it can be relatively quiet.
Okay, just checking. And so the two of you get your glasses, and Jonathan, the farmer, will lead the way. As it looks like he's, again, like he said, he's stayed here before. He leads the way with a key to the room, and you both will go upstairs. As you and Jonathan get to the second floor, the stairs led off into a small hallway, and you see along the right of the hallway 5 doors leading to rooms. Then you also see to your left a door that's kind of a hard left after the stairs, like another room that would run along the staircase. And then forward to the far end of the hallway and to the left, you see 2 more doors leading to some other, what would probably be smaller rooms. And you do see what looks to be ahead and in the ceiling a door to probably like an attic entrance of some kind. Jonathan walks forward and goes to the 3rd door on the right, along the wall that has has the 5 doors. So he goes to the middle door, unlocks it, opens it. Seems to be this is a room that he's stayed in probably before. So we're going to head back downstairs for a moment, though, and see what everybody else is getting up to.
I'm going to go get some food, and I'm going to sit next to the priest.
I need to fire up that crystal ball.
After being told that it is time to get food, I will also get food and sit as close to the fire as I can, but still at a table.
Absolutely.
I was potentially already with the priest.
Yep, you were already there, and so that is then going to be Alfred and Madge are now at a table with the priest. Madge, as you walk up, it looks like Alfred has been speaking with the priest for a little bit. Alfred, what have you been saying to the priest so far?
Well, my opener, I guess it would have been just to, greet him, call him father, ask him if I can join him, do little small talk like, oh, is this your parish, or are you traveling?
You call him father, so he will respond likewise and call you my son, and then he will obviously he invites you to sit with him, and he says, no, this is my parish. I'm the priest at Bilby Church, just down the road in between here and Sigtuna. And he gets out a little handkerchief and kind of dabs at his lips a little bit.
I show concern for him. I'm like, oh, are you well? I happen to be a doctor.
Oh, I have been coughing a little bit more recently. Not sure what's going on, but you're a doctor, you say?
Indeed.
Well, what is it that you are you a surgeon? Are you a general practitioner?
Out of character here, I'm assuming that I might have been a surgeon due to my trauma on my character sheet.
Sure. Yeah, I think that makes complete sense to me.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Then that's what I tell him. That I practiced as a surgeon for a while, but I'm not serving in any particular like hospital or office right currently.
Yes, so this is my parish, and I like to check on my flock whenever I can. Sammy has not been to the church in quite some time, but Sophia attends from time to time. She's an interesting one, much like her mother was.
All right, I try to lean into that little tidbit. I'm like, oh, interesting. Do tell.
So Sophia is a creative individual, something that many in this area do not see as a benefit. But creativity comes from the soul, I believe, and her mother was much the same, I think, much to Sammy's consternation. But Sophia is a good soul, and I feel, would benefit from another lady's attention, seeing that her mother has been gone now for a little while, and I think it's been rather tough on her. So I try to check in on her from time to time. And so at this point, Evan, Madge would have joined the table as well, and you catch just the last little bit of the priest speaking about Sophia.
Sophia, that's the younger one that I noticed walking around and serving and stuff like that, right?
She wasn't so much serving, but she was walking around talking to the few people here in the dining room at one point, but she did eventually leave and head up the stairs.
As Madge approaches the table, I introduce her as an acquaintance of mine or traveling companion. Let's go with that.
It's pleasant to meet you, sister.
Likewise, father. So I hear you mentioning Sophia being lacking a mother figure. Oh, what happened to her?
It's a very sad story indeed. She left. She left about 10, 11 months ago, and she left with a group of theater folk. Sammy received word a few months after that she had passed of cholera.
Theater folk. Such as ones that would do shadow theater?
I'm not sure if that's what they would have been doing or not. They weren't here long. It seemed like maybe Nora knew them previously, and then left rather quickly once they had arrived. Sammy was, he kind of leans in a little closer. Sammy was quite angry before she left, and of course angrier after she left. I fear he maybe has taken some of that anger out on Sophia, with Nora not here to take the brunt of it. I would like, Ingrid, as you begin to look into your crystal ball, I would like you to use your logic, and I would like you to use your investigation as you peer into the crystal ball.
Hey, look at that. I got a success.
Yay, a success. As you peer into the crystal ball, you see very quickly a fog rolling inside the ball, Ingrid. The fog begins to boil inside of the ball and then quickly dissipates, and you see a flash of movement, quick as lightning, like it almost wasn't even there, but you believe you saw something with sharp teeth and claws flash across the front of the ball. And in that instant, you almost believe you might have made it up, like you just really wanted to see something. And as you kind of like shake your head and look again, the image is gone, and you see in the reflection of the ball Sammy standing behind you. What is that?
I get up and I look Sammy in the eye and I say, "You have a lot of friends here, don't you?"
I have a lot of patrons here tonight.
Interesting.
He points again to the ball.
I try a conjure trick, so I am going to try to strike fear in him.
Okay.
So I just have a menacing look, and I'm going to start with that.
Start with that. So you're going to use your stealth as you perform this trick, hoping to strike some fear into Sammy's heart.
Yeah, I'm going to use my stealth instead of manipulation.
All right, well then he is also going to need to roll, as this will be contested. He will need to use logic, and of logic he will use vigilance.
Okay. I suppose I only roll 3 dice, right?
You are going to roll whatever
it
it says on your sheet for those two. So you were using stealth. Stealth is precision, so you will be rolling 5 dice for precision, because that is really good for you, and stealth, which is 3. So you're rolling 8 d6s. This is a good one for you.
I'm not saying I'm evil, This is going to be fun. I got 4 6s.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you very quickly. What is this? What does your conjure trick look like? Do you think that's menacing for him? Because he does roll a success, but you rolled 4 successes, handily defeating him.
I want him to feel that if he displeases me, I will kill him.
Okay. Yeah. So so having fear of you, you see him, he kind of came at you with all bluster and anger. And then seeing you perform this trick, he's taken aback, and you see him kind of stop in his tracks. He goes slack-jawed for a second, but then he gets his composure back and turns quickly and leaves, going past the bar into the kitchen, just leaves the room completely.
All right, I'm going to follow him.
Okay. All right. So you go to follow him. We're going to head back then at this point, I believe. Let's check in with Viola real quick. Viola, you're over by the fire. You're taking in everything that's happening. The one individual who has so far not been interacted with was the slightly well-dressed woman. Again, probably in her late 30s, early 40s. But you can see she's starting to look a little anxious now that Sammy has kind of blown up and then stormed off.
Okay. Seeing that, I would approach her, see if I can get her to open up to me. Is everything all right? You're looking a little anxious.
She does look very anxious, and now that you're at the table with her, you see that she's sweating a little bit along her forehead, and you ask her about her anxiety, and she like pushes the table away and stands up and just what is it with you and your questions? Just leave me be. I don't need this right now.
Pardon? Have I done something to offend?
I don't know you. Why would you even care about me?
Well, I was just reaching out because you looked to be rather nervous. I
Well-
just wondered if you needed somebody to talk to.
Maybe you look nervous.
I mean, I'm feeling all right. I mean, I'll leave you be if that's what you prefer.
Violet, why don't you go ahead and do another learning test as you were taking her in?
No successes.
Okay, all right. So you try to get a beat on what it is exactly is going on with her, but you can't quite tell. And as you stand there for a second or sit there for a second and you look at her, eventually she just kind of stands up and leaves the table and heads over and stands by the fire by herself.
Okay. Sensing that she clearly does not want to speak to me at the moment, I will give her space.
All right, so let's go back up to now the second floor of the Witch Cat Inn, and there we have Jonathan in his room speaking with Nathan's character Hugo.
I'm making a big show of like taking fervent notes as I asked him about his dreams that he's been having.
Yeah, so the last time I was here, I dreamed that someone was nearby me and their throat was cut with a knife.
Was this a person you know?
No, nobody I recognize, but he did look familiar for some reason. I couldn't quite place it.
You think you may have seen this person before?
Oh no, I don't think I've seen him before. I just thought he looked familiar for some reason. But saw him get his throat cut, and then before he was even dead, people were burying him alive. It was so strange.
And I assume you haven't dreamed of the same person again?
No, just that dream, and it was only when I was here the last time.
Have you had similar dreams while you're here?
I did have a different dream. It was a little odd. I remember there being a stage, and there was some people acting, and everybody was applauding, and it seemed like a climactic part of the show, and one of the actors walked up to attack one of the other actors, and they stabbed him. But then the knife wasn't fake, it was real, and just blood everywhere. But the audience, they just kept applauding and cheering.
Very interesting. And have you seen this actor before or after the show?
No, I mean, it's just a dream.
Mm.
Never saw this person before. No, it's just a dream.
I'm going to encourage him to take deeper drinks and then kind of wait till he passes out.
Okay, it does not take that much longer. He's pretty far gone.
So once he's passed out, I kind of nudge him to make sure he's really out.
Okay. Yeah,
And
he doesn't move. He kind of leans back into the bed and then eventually kind of flops over, and he's just laying there snoring heavily.
I put away my notebook, pull out a second book. This is an older notebook that looks kind of leather bound, but kind of starting to crack. And I pull out a little ink vial and a knife, and I draw a little blood from myself, then a little blood from him, mix it together, and write some notes in that book, and put it away, and then go downstairs.
All right. So you head back downstairs. At the table with the priest, the priest leans in to the two who are there with him, and he says, now that Sammy has left the room, you can see that he kind of straightens up a little bit from the table and says, Sammy is known for his temper. He was not a kind man with Nora. I believe she left hoping to make a better life for herself. Sammy's been angry for a long time, and again, this is why I check in on Sophia, just to make sure she is okay.
I'm sorry, was it previously established the exact relationship between Sammy and Nora?
Yes, they were husband and wife.
Oh, okay. I might have missed that.
Yeah, Nora was Sophia's mom.
I try to commiserate with the priest, like I'm simultaneously agreeing with him, like, oh yes, this is a hard thing to live through.
As you're talking to him, all of a sudden it looks like he's about to say something to you, and in mid sentence almost, as his mouth opens to speak, his head just falls and hits the table, and the woman standing by the fire, the well-dressed woman standing by the fire, slumps to the floor. You see Sven walking across the room, going to deliver another drink, drops the drink, it clatters to the ground, spilling liquid all across the floor. He also hits the ground, and the light from the fire goes from a reddish orange to blue. The room gets noticeably colder. Nathan, Hugo's coming down the stairs. And as you come down the stairs, you notice drastically the change in temperature and the hue and the color of the room having changed. I need everyone who is in the room to make their very first fear test.
Oh, what do we roll for this?
This is obviously Hugo's fault because he's coming into the room and this
Yes,
happens.
I agree.
I think that makes perfectly good sense.
I throw up my arms in frustration because I was just coming down to tell people this was about to happen.
So real quick, fear test. You are going to be choosing how you want to tackle this situation. You either tackle it with logic or with empathy. So you're going to be rolling either one of those, and then it says here you add additional dice equal to the number of player characters also present in the scene with a maximum of 3 dice.
We're all there, right?
I'm not.
So
there,
you're
right?
all. The only one not there right this second is going to be Ingrid, because Ingrid followed Sammy, and Sammy is currently in the kitchen.
Okay.
But actually Ingrid still will be making the roll, because Ingrid in the kitchen, Sammy stands there with you, but also for the first time you see the cook as well. The cook is a lady who has been kind of thrown off by the intrusion into her inner sanctum that is the kitchen. And as she is like holding her ladle like high in the air at this intrusion by you and Sammy, she drops the ladle, also falling to the ground. The fire underneath a pot on the stove turns blue instead of red. You and Sammy stand there. You and Sammy also will be making a fear test. But because you're in a separate space, you do not have the benefit of the other player characters in the space that the others will have. So the others of you making the fear test, you will be doing so again either with empathy or logic, and you will add an additional die for the number of players present in the scene with a maximum of 3. So you will each get the maximum of 3 added to either your logic or empathy as you make this test.
Okay. My result is 2 successes.
I got one.
I have 3.
You have 3 successes. Wow.
Viola
All right.
has no successes.
No
No.
successes.
No.
No successes for
7.
Viola.
I rolled
Okay.
7 and no
You rolled
success.
7 dice and had no successes.
Yes, I'm not having good luck.
It's
Okay.
James's fault.
Yeah, well, James didn't have successes either, so Ingrid is scared of blue fire.
Apparently. Okay. So those of you who did not succeed on the roll, you become terrified, and you also suffer this was a fear value of 1. So all you had to do was get 1 success and you were going to be fine. Those of you who did not make your success then suffer, like I said, you become terrified. And I'm going to look that up again real fast because there are some specific conditions to the terrify.
I'm wondering if Sammy is more terrified than he was previously, because that could be my benefit too.
Let me check real quick.
I have this weird scenario in my mind that you, James, will somehow talk yourself into heresy and be pronouncing yourself as a witch.
What?
I would not put it past him.
What? That is balderdash. Balderdash.
All right, so those of you who become terrified can choose to either flee. You must use all of your actions to flee from the thing that frightened you, or freeze. Your body refuses to move, rendering you completely immobile. You cannot talk or perform any actions whatsoever. Faint. Your body goes limp, and a veil of darkness descends over the world. Or attack. You attack the nearest hostile person or creature with whatever weapon you are currently holding. You lose the ability to make strategic choices and will not stop attacking until the enemy is vanquished. You cannot perform any fast actions. So that's going to be, again, Ingrid and Viola. You are terrified. Yeah, you get to choose to flee, freeze, faint, or attack.
I will say, though, that if it is a Vaesen, a lot of them aren't damaged by physical attacks, and if you can't figure out what they're damaged with, hitting them with something is not going to help. And I'm afraid if I do attack, I might just kill Sammy. I'm also afraid Sammy might attack me, so I'm going to flee for now into the other room.
All right, so you're going to flee into the other room, okay? The other part of the fear test is that you also take 1 mental condition. So you have to choose between, there are 3 different mental conditions. They have 3 different names, obviously. They don't really, the names don't seem to matter. All it does is cause you to roll 1 fewer die every time you make a test.
I'm angry.
All right, so you're going to be angry. And what about Viola?
I think I'm going to freeze.
Okay, so...
And...
Mm-hmm.
What were the options?
So on your character sheet on the far right, there is a spot for conditions, and there's physical and mental. So this is going to be one of the mental ones. So either angry, frightened, or hopeless.
I'm just going to go with frightened, I think.
All right. So you're going to go ahead and go with frightened, and Ingrid goes with angry and flees the room. And so all of you have kind of frozen in place there. The rest of you passed your test, and so you are currently okay to continue doing some stuff for the moment. Ingrid and Viola are going to kind of hang back for a second as they are afraid.
How many of the visitors in the dining room have passed out? Was it just the couple people that you named, or is it like everyone?
Right now in the dining room, everybody is asleep.
Okay.
They all their heads have hit either the table or the ground, and they are not moving. You do see Ingrid come into the room, and as Ingrid comes into the room, you also see Sammy come into the room not far behind her. So it's the party and Sammy.
I'm gonna pull my rifle out, and I'm gonna ask Alfred, are they dead or are they just sleeping? You're a doctor.
Yeah, well, I'm concerned about the 2 people that just walked into the room, actually, more than the people that just because I'm pretty sure they're just passed out. So, I'm sorry, it was Ingrid and Sammy that just walked into the room, because obviously they're not passed out if they just walked into the room. So what do they look like as they're walking into the room?
Well, you can see that Sammy is looking a little perplexed and still a little angry. From the look on Ingrid's face, she looks a little terrified right now.
I'm gonna get out my camera, which I'm guessing is like the old-timey cameras with the big flame that comes out at the top. But
Right.
I'll get a position in the corner facing towards where Sammy is, and I'll try to get a picture of like the whole room, especially making sure I get Sammy in the picture to see if anything shows up in the picture that I can't see.
Okay, the picture is going to take quite some time to develop.
Yeah.
But that's fine. You might see something later when you develop it.
I'm going to gesture to Maj that he should probably put his weapon away unless things get crazy. And I will check the priest since he's near me to make sure that like he's still breathing, that there's just simply unconscious, you know.
You go over and you check on him. He does seem to be breathing, snoring slightly. And if you didn't know any better, you would assume he had just fallen to sleep normally. He doesn't look ill or anything from what you can tell.
Okay. I report that to the rest of the group that they appear to be asleep, just so that we all know.
And I warn them that the dreams that people have here result in people dying. They, as far as they know, that seem to be dreams. But like the guy I talked to, he knew somebody. He seemed to be familiar with somebody, but couldn't. After the guy died in his dream, never saw him again. Doesn't know who he is anymore.
I address the people that are still standing and conscious, and I'm just like, "Hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay?" Going around the room, waiting for a response.
All of them just like completely unconscious asleep. Just
No. I'm talking to just the people that were standing / appear to be conscious.
Which one are those? Like your party members?
Yeah, it would be the party members plus Sammy, because that's
I gotcha.
who appears to be awake, correct?
Yes. So you start doing that with your party members. Eventually, you get to Sammy, and when you get to Sammy, like his eyes for a second look odd, like he's off in a dream for a second, and then he sees you standing there, and he says, I can't believe I did that. I can't. Why would I can't believe I listened to them. I can't believe I killed him.
All right,
and then
I try to calm him down and get him talking. Yes.
He seems almost impossible to calm down. Like what do you do to try to calm him down? Like what is he starts to be upset and angry at the same time now.
Okay. I try to be like, oh, what happened? Shh.
They convinced me that it was necessary. I can't believe I did that. I don't deserve to live. I shouldn't even be here. I don't deserve to live. He kind of pushes you away and heads for the stairs.
Okay, well, I can't let him wander off by himself in the state that he's in. So I at least am following him.
Okay. Yeah. If you're just following him, he heads up the stairs and you follow him. As he gets to the top of the stairs, you see that he makes a hard right for the door closest to the stairs and will get out a key and let himself into the room. He doesn't react to you being there. He's going to try to shut the door in your face. Do you continue to try to follow and make your way in?
Yeah, I try to put something in the door jamb so that he can't close it, even if it has to be part of me, I guess, like a foot.
There goes a foot.
Yeah, quite possibly. I am an old doctor, so this might not work out well for me.
Yeah, so you just put your foot in there.
Yeah.
Again, he doesn't really even kind of notice that you're following, so he tries to shut the door, but the door bounces off your foot as you stop it, and he doesn't turn to stop you or anything. So if you follow, you are now you're in his room.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm on suicide watch, I guess. I see if I can't get him talking about whatever he's talking about.
Okay, yep. So you'll keep talking to him
if somebody...
as he's just like pacing the room, just kind of mumbling to himself and crying. So I don't know then what the other party members are doing downstairs on the first floor.
So I kind of have a soft spot for the daughter and want to, because she's not in here, and we know that, or we saw her go. Which way did she go? She went through the kitchen, didn't she?
The last time you would have seen her at one point, she went up the stairs.
So I'm gonna go and see where she is, because she's the only other one that we don't know her whereabouts. I'm gonna see if I can find her.
Given the fact that everyone's passed downstairs, checking the guest rooms doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to come with me, they may, but that's what I am going to do.
Well, I can go up as well, and I can grab the key that I got for Jonathan, since he's still probably passed it out, and see if it works on the other rooms.
Okay. So you're going upstairs. At this point, Ingrid and Viola, the fear slowly seems to start to dissipate. You begin to kind of have your awareness back, and you can begin to move around like the rest of the group, but you're still suffering from your condition that you gained. So you see Madge begin to go upstairs, and I believe also Hugo. Was Hugo heading up as well?
Yes.
Well, I'd tell Viola that we have to be careful, and we might have to perform a ritual soon because there's definitely a Vaesen near of some sort, and we need to figure it out pretty quick.
Do the two of you head upstairs as well, or are you staying down here on the first floor?
Is there anyone awake on the first floor?
No, everyone is asleep on the first floor.
See, I'm sort of worried that someone's going to become some puppets, and I don't like puppets. So, like, I don't know if I'm going to stick around on this floor. I'm going to probably go up and check on Alfred.
I think
Okay.
I'm feeling safety in numbers.
I'm like, well, it's fine. You can watch the people down there.
No, that's okay. They're sleeping. They're all right.
So it sounds like
What can happen?
Yeah, everything's fine. So it sounds like the entire party makes their way upstairs to the second floor. We know that Alfred is currently in the room with Sammy. Madge and Hugo, you make your way to the top of the steps first, and again you get kind of the same layout explained to you that I've spoken about previously, and that is that to the right when you get to the top of the stairs are 5 doors. One door is slightly open right now, and you can hear Alfred trying to talk to Sammy in it. The other 4 doors are closed, but we know that Jonathan the farmer is asleep in the 3rd door on the right. There is a room directly to the left of the top of the staircase, and then further up the hall are 2 more doors on the left, and then also a small door that looks like it probably in the ceiling that looks like it would probably lead to some kind of attic of some kind.
So I want to check that first
Oh,
door.
man, there's a crawl space. That's not good.
I'm not going in the attic first. That's for sure. You can't.
Oh, we're going to
blame
end up in the attic whether we want to be or not.
I go into the attic.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the door across from Sammy's door.
Okay, so just to the hard left of the top of the stairs? All right.
That door, they looks different from like the other ones, or do they all look like the same?
Most of the doors look fairly similar, but you can tell just kind of like spatial awareness. The wall along the staircase, and then just this one door on this side. You think that this could be a slightly larger room than the other rooms on the second floor.
Okay, yeah, that'll be the one I want to.
Okay.
Check.
Yep. So you go to the door. The door is locked.
Did I get a key from Jonathan?
You still have the key that you used to get into Jonathan's room, that 3rd door. That is correct.
Does that work on the other door as well?
Well, are you going to the same door that Evan is at?
I was debating going to the attic, but if I see him struggling to get into this door, I'd try to help him out and see if I can open it.
I'll say loudly, I need a key.
Yeah, so you go over and you do try to use the key. The key does not unlock this door.
Okay, so they're...
Alfred, can you shake a key out of Sammy?
Alfred is in the other room. Are you heading in there to talk to him?
Oh, I'll just say it loud.
Oh, okay.
They're all sleeping.
I just yell real loud. It's fine.
Yell at me from outside the room. It'll be fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Alfred, you would hear Madge yelling loudly for keys from Sammy. You will see that Sammy does have a ring of keys that's attached to his belt.
Okay. Have I gotten him into any better sense of himself?
No,
or
not at all.
Okay. All right. I figured I wouldn't, but I had to try.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to try to make some sort of roll to see
I will make this roll, but I will not make any successes on this roll because it's empathy plus something. So the best I can roll is like 3 dice.
I'm not an Alfred is not an empathetic character.
I'm sorry, I'm a doctor, but my bedside manner is terrible, just like all doctors.
So it is going to be your empathy, and I would say either inspiration or manipulation. And manipulation probably should be your choice. It's the only one that'll get you at least 1 more die.
Yeah, we'll try here. We'll try.
Okay.
I scored no successes on that roll.
No
just like
successes.
we thought we would.
Yeah. At this point, as you continue to try to calm him down, you hear him, and he's been talking about he's been saying some names over and over again. And he specifically has said the name Oscar a couple of times. He's also, you've caught the name, you think it's maybe Katja maybe, or and Hilma and an Albert as well. And he's been he's been saying these names, and he's like, I can't believe they talked me into killing him. And you try to like calm him down a little bit more. And at this point, he does get a little angry and physical with you, and he tries to push you out of the room.
Okay.
At that point, I'm pretty sure I'm at the room, aren't I?
Are you coming up also to Alfred? Then
yeah,
yes,
I was coming
you would be.
to Alfred to help him.
Sure. Then you're at the door as well, and you can be in the room if you would like.
Sure.
But you can see that Sammy is trying to push Alfred out of the room at this point, just beside himself with anger, and it looks to be sadness at the same time.
Well, I am going to switch gears. Since I already scared the crap out of him earlier, I'm going to...
You're going to try empathy. Wow.
I'm going to try to be empathetic to him and try to calm him down so we can talk. Because I don't know what Alfred's going to do, but I'm going to support him.
Okay. So yeah, so you can also then, hearing Alfred try to calm him down and failing, you try the same tactic. So I would like you to go ahead now and make the same roll that was just tried, which is going to be empathy and manipulation for a total of 5 dice.
Yeah.
A quick question.
Yes, quick question.
So, whatever happened? So, we met Oscar when we got there. Is he one of the ones that's asleep down in the first floor, or did he just kind of disappear after we went in?
You did not meet an Oscar. You met an Olas Clint.
Olas, sorry, Olas.
Olas is
Wrong.
also I kind of like forgot about him, but he is also asleep.
Okay, that's Olas. Okay.
Well, I got 3 successes, so I'm hoping my words are going to be all right. Don't worry about it. People die all the time. I'm sure it's not your fault.
This sounds terrible to me.
You were gonna die either way. Just because you sped up the process, that doesn't mean anything.
Little stabby among friends. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You're going to be okay. Anything.
I mean, who hasn't gotten stabbed?
Yeah,
Any.
stabby never hurt no
Anywho,
Anything.
Ingrid,
God. Anything.
Did you
can be
roll?
Fixed. Yeah, I got 3 successes.
all right, you got 3 successes. It's like his eyes clear for a moment. Finally, when the eyes clear, so when that happens, you see his eyes clear for a second. And as his eyes clear, I need you, Ingrid, to make an observation skill check here.
So is that just observation?
I believe so, because I'm going to be making a roll as well.
So wouldn't that just be my empathy plus observation, or no?
Yeah, we'll still do empathy and observation.
Okay, I'm sure this is going to end well.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to end well.
I did get a
All right.
success.
Well,
Yeah,
one is
all right.
good. I'm going to be rolling some dice here as well. Okay. All right. So you got 1 success, Ingrid?
Just one, yes.
Just 1. Okay. All right. So you got 1 success. When his eyes clear, very quickly, you and Alfred both, like you think you see something move real quickly from him. And then Ingrid all of a sudden goes very rigid for a moment. I need to share something specific with just Ingrid.
James is always the traitor. James just became the traitor, folks. It happened.
James is possessed. We must kill him with fire.
Now, Alfred, I'm hurt.
Alfred, as you see Ingrid go rigid, you also see Sammy fall asleep, hits the ground, knocked out just like everybody else downstairs. And we're going to leave this awesome scenario for just a moment as we go back to, let's say, I'm assuming the other 3 individuals of the party who are standing around a door, unable to open it, calling for Alfred to get some keys. Alfred has not responded. So the 3 of you are just standing out there trying to open this door. Does anybody try to open it without keys?
I was about to say, do you think they'll mind that terribly if, I happen to fall very hard into the door on accident?
Asleep. We were just trying to save him.
I'm going to throw my shoulder into the door because I, air quote, tripped into it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You tripped right in and through that door. You could use your force, which is also physique. So you would do physique and force and add that many d6s and kind of put some force behind that.
So I tripped on my way to fake tripping and don't do very well.
As you trip and kind of hit your knee into the door and then your forehead into the door a little bit. You're going to take on the battered physical condition, having failed that roll.
Makes sense to me.
I will let out an expletive and be like, anybody find a key yet?
The other two at the door, we've got Viola there, and we've also got Hugo there.
We didn't get a response when we asked for the key, right? And
You did not.
Did we hear commotion or anything?
At this point, you now hear kind of a loud thud come from that room, but that's it.
I saw and walk in there assuming that, they're just not getting through to this guy. Maybe they need somebody who can actually talk to him.
All right, so you walk into the room, Hugo. As you do, you see Alfred standing there, and you see Ingrid there. Ingrid, have you had a chance to read what I sent you?
Oh, yeah. No, I did.
Okay, now is the time to act upon it.
I look at Hugo, and I say that, Hugo, you're an evil person, and you've been holding me back. You and your stupid note-taking about everybody and your secret books. You're evil, and I'm going to kill you, and you can't leave this building. And I pull out my knife, and I try to ram it into his heart.
All right, here we go.
That escalated quickly.
Jason is trying to. I'm so happy.
Am I?
Everybody's so pleased at this right now. All right, so this is going to be, this is going to be an attack roll. And let's see, from Ingrid, that's going to be, let's see here, you're using your dagger, which is going to give you a +1 die to it for its bonus there.
For a round of combat, I can do a big and a small action. Is stabbing a small action? Can I do a conjure trick at the same time?
Let me see real quick. I do have an image here telling me the actions. So you can do a fast and a slow action. You're going to do your typical fast action, which is drawing a weapon. So you draw your dagger.
Okay, so then I'll just do the stabby.
And then you can do the stabby. So you can attack with a melee weapon.
That's
and
happening.
I would do a reaction to dodge?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can use your agility to try to dodge this attack.
So I get +1 for the dagger. What's my roll?
So you're rolling a close combat, which is physique and close combat.
Okay.
So you've got a 3 plus your +1, so you'll be rolling 4.
Hopefully I don't get good. 2 6s.
I got 2 6s as well.
Oh, you both got 2 6s.
Yep.
All right, then it is a complete draw as Ingrid attacks Hugo, but does not connect with the dagger attack. So it is up to you.
1 round of combat.
That's 1 round of combat right there.
Okay.
Do I get to do anything in this round of combat since I'm in the room?
Yeah, you're in the room. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
You are a doctor, I will say.
I know I'm very bad at this combat thing, but my gut instinct would be to try to disarm Ingrid, see if I can't get the knife away from her.
Well, if I can, since is he in the first round or second round?
So this will still be the first round.
Okay.
I would like to say we all expected James to betray us, so...
Oh, yeah. We talked about it beforehand. It has come true.
But am I?
So what is Alfred doing? Are you trying to pry the dagger from Ingrid's hands? Are you attacking Ingrid?
I'm basically going to go after like her wrist of the hand that's holding the dagger and try to twist it in such a way that she drops it.
Okay. All right. So you're going to do some close combat and physique.
Yeah. Not my best roll, by the way.
And Ingrid, you can try to do a little dodging, I guess. All right, so
success.
Both of you, 1 success from Ingrid. What about Alfred?
Yeah, only 1 success here as well.
All right, so again, you try to get in there to get that knife out of her hand, but she's still standing there. You both kind of pretty much you just trade places in the room as you circle each other, trying to get the weapon from her. Last one in the room is Hugo. Hugo, you were just attacked, but successfully evaded the attack. What do you do?
So I use my fast action for the reaction, so I have slow action left. I want to use it to basically do my best impression of the Exorcist and try to inspire the spirit to leave his body and just say, out, out!
Oh, so you were assuming that Ingrid just doesn't hate you right now, like normal.
Right.
Like normal.
That's a daring assumption.
So you're going to use empathy and inspiration.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Do I have a defensive roll?
Let's go. Let's have you defense with logic and vigilance.
Better roll well, Nathan.
I got 2 successes.
I got 0.
All right. So you're trying to coax whatever spirit may have inhabited your friend Ingrid, causing her to despise you so much. That is the end of the combat round. So now the thing is done and it's gone and you're back to normal. Okay, yeah. So let me try to see if I can get you an image of this real quick.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be small, but let's see what happens. All right, you can do with that what you will.
Well, I don't want to get stabbed, hit, or punched. So I'm going to say, stop. Thanks, Hugo. You're awesome. Don't kill me. And I just put the dagger away. I'm like, we need to do a ritual. We need to get to find out where Oscar's body is buried.
I am going to be observing him very carefully, seeing if I can make sure he looks like he's back to normal.
I actually am a she.
She, sorry.
Yes, you would observe, and you would observe correctly that Ingrid seems to be back to her normal self.
Okay.
So I'm going to immediately start performing a ritual, but I don't think I can talk during a ritual, so I'm hoping that people can infer that they need to do things while I'm doing this.
Okay. So everybody else out in the hallway, we've got Viola and Madge still unsuccessfully entering a room, unless Viola wants to try to do something.
I mean, I have a crowbar.
Ah,
Not
you
as good as a
do.
lockpick, but
But, you know,
It's just a
it's
crowbar.
better.
I do have a crowbar, by the way.
In my pocket.
I happen to have a crowbar in my really large interdimensional pocket.
Nice. I love it.
Nobody needs to ask any questions how I came about having this pocket.
That's
All
your
right,
forget
so-
me stick.
Yeah, of course.
So,
of course.
so Viola, if you plan to utilize said crowbar, then you could go ahead and use, this would be force, not close combat, which isn't going to do you any good, but the crowbar helps. And it's going to be physique.
All right, let's see what I can get. I got 1 success.
And that is all you need as you pry open the door to the room.
I like to think I hear this cracking just as I'm reaching down to get the keys from Sammy.
I agree that this would be an appropriately dramatic thing to happen.
Absolutely. You reach down, Sammy's body is sleeping on the floor. You see the ring of keys, and Hugo is like, the keys. And as you bend over, you hear, got it. And at that point, Viola, you step into the room.
I step in.
Fantastic. Okay.
What could happen?
No, absolutely.
Nothing
Everything's
bad
fine.
could ever
Everything's
happen.
fine. So you do step into this room. In the room, it looks fairly normal. You do notice though that it is it's fairly dust covered and has a smell of mustiness, like it's not been used in some time. And when you step in, you see a bed, and you do see a very small bookcase with a handful of books. And then next to the bed, kind of it's like, yeah, so next to the bed on like a little bedstand, you do see what looks to be another book, but this one looks to me more like a journal type of book. The other ones look like, actually published written books. This one looks to be a journal of some kind next to it.
Okay. I think immediately I'm gonna go for the journal.
Okay. All right. Absolutely. So I'm going to share the journal with you.
I love a good secret.
Absolutely right. They're the best. Let's see here. Madge, you see that Viola has entered the room and heads directly over by the bed and picks up a small book. You also see a bookcase sitting off to one side of the room as well with a few books on it.
Okay, so looks like it's a bedroom of some sort. Is there anything else, like pictures or anything like that, to kind of say this is so-and-so's?
You would see maybe like a very, very small, and obviously to us antique looking photo of 3 individuals, 2 of which you recognize. One is Sammy, who looks somewhat happier than he does currently. And then you also see a younger Sophia in the photo. And then there's a woman standing between the 2 of them.
So Viola's looking at that journal. I'm going to take a quick look at the bookcase to see if there's anything that seems odd. Poke around a little bit into the room and see if there's anything else.
You might be, I don't know, I don't want to speak for your character, but might be somewhat surprised as you begin looking at the books on the bookcase and notice that every single one of them speaks to something of the occult.
That's not suspicious at all.
So into the occult. I don't have a lot of learnings about that, but there's someone in the party that does. Oh, Ingrid.
Well, I would love to come over and check those out, but I'm doing a ritual to try to drive away the thing for right now to buy us some time.
So this ritual that you're trying to do, what is it that you're actually trying to do?
So I'm basically trying to perform a ritual to determine basically either the Vaesen or the Vaesen's weakness, whatever I can do, in attempt also hoping that the ritual will have the Vaesen flee temporarily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
since
no
Ingrid
spoilers.
mentioned that she wants to do a ritual, I'm a little surprised because I have no clue what this thing is. So I'm just like, well, what do you need? How can we help?
Well, that's the problem. It's not going to probably be great because we can all do rituals, but
I mean, you
the
you
more
claim to be able
information,
to do rituals, but I have no clue.
I
so.
do know some information, but I can't be talking because I'm trying to do it. I do know a good bit of what might happen or what it could be, but I don't. You have to.
I mean, that's just it, James. You can tell us what to expect before you engage in this practice that's going to lock you away.
Now, I was frightened, and I don't think it would fit because I was frightened. I did try to kill somebody. The thing left me. I'm trying. All I care about is pushing it away a little bit.
Oh, I see. You're acting in response. Okay,
right.
gotcha.
I don't think I have the wherewithal to talk too much.
And Ingrid has heard now the call from Madge as well.
Well, I'll
So-
call for Ingrid
If
Worth to go.
Ingrid is looks like she's indisposed, I'm going to go see what Madge needs.
Well, I would have finished my ritual. I am assuming that it's gone from the room. So I just tell you guys, I'm pretty sure the Vaesen is gone from the room. I don't know what the Vaesen is. All I know is that we need to figure out where Oscar's body is buried, and we need to dispose of it properly, is my guess. So I'm guessing the Vaesen's a ghost, but I don't know. And I will walk past them and start heading towards Madge.
I don't know either, but you walk there. So
Yeah, I'm heading there. Whether they're coming or not, I'm going.
So you get to the room and you see Madge is there with Viola. Viola is sitting on the bed reading from a small book, and Madge is standing there calling for you to come in.
I tell him as I walk over to Madge that I believe Oscar was because of the murder, his body wasn't buried in consecrated ground, so we need to figure out where his body is and bury him properly. I'm assuming the Vaesen's a ghost. I don't know. And then-
Well, Ingrid,
Okay.
there's lots of books to learn in here.
all right, I start reading, see if I can figure anything out.
All right, so
Oh.
Ingrid, you can go ahead and make a learning roll as you begin to read and try to decipher what these books may contain and what's going on. Viola, what about you?
As Ingrid is about to start just opening books and reading, I will stop her and show her what I believe to be Nora's journal. Ingrid, I found this. I believe it actually has the answer to all of your questions. It looks like Oscar, according to Nora, is buried somewhere in the garden, and that it was not consecrated ground, and in fact I'm gonna butcher the word, desecrated his body with magic.
Excellent. Well, it's pretty much what I thought. If it does matter, I only got 3 dice because apparently I'm all talk, and logic's not my strong suit, but I did get 2 successes out of 3 dice.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow!
Better
So
than me with 7 dice.
so Ingrid is like half listening to Viola talking and also reading at the same time.
Just taking it all in, huh?
And yeah, just taking everything in all at once. And Ingrid, you land on a notation in one of Nora's books that she highlighted, and it says that there's this creature that is somewhat of like a ghostly type creature, but it's known as a revenant. And you know that this is a haunted spirit filled by hate against those that have wronged it in life. Often they're invisible, but have been known to take the shape of a monstrous being with sharp teeth and claws. You also know that this creature has the ability to draw the very life out of a person with its ghostly embrace, and can also use magics to control a person's soul.
Well, I relay that all to them, and I told them that's pretty much confirms what I thought I saw in my crystal ball in the beginning, but I wasn't sure. And now this is sort of fitting together. So, problem would be is we need to get to the garden.
At this point, everybody smells smoke.
Excellent.
One of the fires got out of control. That's my assumption.
So that would be the cue to leave the building. We're going to the garden anyway. You want to pick some people up on the way out, maybe?
We'll go downstairs at least.
Who's currently in the room where everybody's reading books?
At least the three.
Is
of
everybody
us.
there?
I'd be in the hallway outside.
Yeah, I would probably be with Hugo.
So Alfred and Hugo, you see flames and smoke coming up the staircase.
Oh,
I
Are
don't
there
think we're going to
windows
go
in
that
these
way.
are they still blue?
Oh no!
That's a
Well,
regular
actually,
old
yes,
fire.
yes. Sorry.
Oh,
It's still blue, but it's hot.
Oh,
Like you can
okay.
feel the heat, you can see the smoke, and you begin to hear people downstairs chanting,
Oh, dear Lord.
and some
Oh, that's
begin
not
to
good.
scream at the same time
No,
in
that
pain
really doesn't seem
and
good.
anguish.
Okay,
Well, I'm sleeping well tonight.
Nathan, you still have the key ring on you, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think we need to open up all these rooms up here and see if we can't find a different way out, right?
Sammy
What?
comes walking out of the room as if a puppet with no strings.
I knew there'd be puppets.
I have a feeling I know what this puppet show is now, and I don't know if I'm gonna like it after all.
So you do see Sammy coming towards you all slowly but surely, and he says, "Kacha, Albert, Hilma, Pyri." And as he gets close to the closest person to him, which I'm going to assume is Alfred, why not?
Oh, of course.
I need Alfred and Hugo, since you're both in the hallway, to make a fear test as you see the flames. And I'm assuming you guys have spoken about the flames at this point to the party.
Oh yeah.
All right, I need everybody in the party to make a fear test. Fear test 1. We did one of those earlier. You're going to be rolling +3 dice because your party members are all there still. And you're also going to be rolling either logic or empathy to try to pass this fear test.
I passed 2 successes.
Okay.
I rolled a decent number of dice and did not pass. I rolled 0 successes.
All right, Alfred, you are now terrified and will take one condition of mental damage.
Okay, I am frightened, and I will flee down the hallway. I know
All right.
there's just doors over there, but,
Yep, but
away from the fire, so...
Absolutely, you flee down the hall, afraid of the fire, and Hugo succeeds. Hugo, because you succeeded and Alfred has fled down the hallway, Sammy turns to you instead, and Sammy is going to make a close combat attack against you. Everybody else, what about your fear tests?
I got 3.
Huh. Out of 7 dice, I got 1 success. I'm rolling awful.
That's all right. You still got a success, and most of the time, 1 success is all you need. And on a Fear 1 test, that's all you needed. So you have succeeded. James has also succeeded. And what about Madge?
I don't want to talk about it.
You'd be scared.
Madge will also be taking one mental damage, 1 mental condition, and also be choosing in which form she is terrified: flee, freeze, faint, or attack.
So on the attack, it would be attacking what?
You attack the nearest hostile person or creature with whatever weapon you are currently holding. You lose the ability to make strategic choices, and you will not stop attacking until the enemy is vanquished. You cannot perform any fast actions.
So, okay. So I'm going to go angry.
Yep.
And then I'm going to pick attack.
Okay, so you are going to choose to attack, and I need Hugo to now try to combat against Sammy, as Sammy makes an attack against you.
I got 1 success on dodge.
1 success on dodge. Let's see what happens here. No successes for Sammy. Kind of trips and staggers towards the top of the stairs. At which point, Hugo, you can do your slow action since you're right there next to Sammy.
I'm just gonna push him down the stairs.
Okay, so you can go ahead and kind of do a close combat physique, and Sammy will try to dodge.
I got 2 successes.
Oh boy.
I'm rolling well.
Sammy only got 1 success. Okay, so you push Sammy, and Sammy falls to his knees and begins to roll down the stairs towards the flames. The flames catch his leg and his pants on fire. He tries to stand, but begins to scream and try to put out the flames for a second as the flames continue to go up his body and begin making it towards the top of the stairs. You can see the smoke billowing up through the cracks of the floorboards along the entire second floor hallway.
Well, I might have just made another Vaesen for later, but that'll be a problem for later.
Yeah, problems for today or today.
Madge, you're angry and you have nothing to swing at now. I'm sorry.
So I'm assuming that Viola and I are fine. So I'm gonna yell to her, "Hey, let's figure out how we can get out of here." So I try to open the window, and I'm gonna see if we can figure out a way to not jump and break our legs.
You go to open the window. Are you speaking of a window like in the hallway or in the room?
No,
you're
in the
currently
room
in?
because I never left the room. So
Okay, all right.
Is there a window in the room? How about that?
I believe there is. Let me double check here real quick. Yes, there is a room that overlooks the yard behind the inn. You can see that there are some bushes back there, and it looks like there is off to the. So it looks like a small, like kind of garden-ish area backyard, and then you see a couple little buildings back there too. So yeah, you can do like a physique.
So I'm basically
Force to try to force the window open or break the window.
yeah. Either way,
Don't forget, your party member has a crowbar.
oh wait, Viola, crowbar this up. Crowbar me art.
Right.
And I yelled to the other ones, "Hey, we need to jump out of here to the bushes because the garden's over there, and that's where we need to be. Or you can stay here and die."
Alfred, the smoke is getting pretty strong over here on the far end of the hallway, and from right above you, you hear help.
Right
And you
above me, I hear help. Okay, all right.
Do you look upwards?
I mean, I know the attic entrance is there, so of course I'm going to look up. Yeah, I'm going to be that person that's going to die first. Sure.
All right, you do see an entrance up into what looks like to be an attic. There's a small like little trapdoor up there.
Okay,
Nice
but
knowing you.
don't see who
You don't
or
see
what.
anybody.
Talk
Nope.
to me?
You just
Okay,
hear a
alright.
voice.
All right.
Viola, have you attacked the window?
Sure, I will attack the window. Would that be my force again?
Yep. Force and physique plus the one from the crowbar.
I have great news. I did not get a single success.
So the crowbar hits the glass, shattering the glass. The crowbar itself flies out the window. As you hit it with a little too much force, losing the crowbar from your grip, your arm slices slightly against some of the glass from the window, giving you a cut. You take 1 physical condition.
Viola, you had one job, and you had a crowbar. You had one job and a crowbar.
But the window is now open, and the smoke that is starting to fill the second floor of the house begins to slowly seep out the window as well.
I'd say let's
You can
jump.
get the
We'll
crowbar,
fix-
right?
Hugo and Madge, you're in the hallway near the stairs. Are you going to the room? You might see Alfred down at the end of the hallway looking up at the ceiling.
I would go after Alfred to try to direct him towards the window to get out of here.
So Alfred, you've been told that there is a sure exit.
Viola and I, are we jumping out the window? Because I could fix
If you're planning on jumping out the window, you may
Wow.
jump out of the window.
I'm gonna scream, "Aim for the bushes and jump!"
Okay, yeah, yep,
This is going to
absolutely.
go well.
No, there's no way this could go wrong.
No, I mean, well, it's either
No way could I end up broken.
we burned it. You'll be sliced and broken.
So I'm gonna jump out the window.
This is a second-story window, right? Just so we're all clear on this.
We are all clear on
So-
that.
Make
So
sure
logically,
not
it's-
to lock my knees.
So we're looking.
8
We're,
to 10
we're looking.
feet.
We're looking for physique and agility on this.
Ooh, but I'm probably not gonna roll a success now. Let's find out. Wow, let's
No,
take some.
I've already got 1 success. That's good.
I got one. Only
Okay,
rolled
you
4
both
dice.
got it. You both got a success, and you both luckily find some bushes on your downward descent.
Huck and roll.
Not enough successes to do the Superman or superhero.
No, definitely
pose.
not. No, definitely not a Superman. This is a ow, branches, bushes, ow.
I think that would probably end it for us, except for I'll pull Viola out and I'll try to wrap her cut.
Yeah, absolutely. And the rest of the group is still standing on the second floor. The flames are starting to lick through the floorboards. You hear creaking, screaming coming from the first floor has quickly now dissipated as there's no more chanting, no more screaming, except for the fact that all of a sudden the third door in opens and you see Jonathan come walking out like a puppet with no strings.
Oh, I forgot about Jonathan.
Kashta, Alfred. And then he sees the two individuals standing near the stairs. He sees the one individual standing near the end of the hallway, and he goes for the one at the end of the hallway as he rushes towards Alfred. So
It's me and Hugo again.
well, Madge is up here somewhere still. So, but he does move towards Alfred. So, Alfred, what are you doing? You have a fast action and a slow action.
I'm sorry. This person's just kind of meandering towards me.
He looks angry now that he has chosen you, and he is coming towards you with fist clenched.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still a little frightened, so I'm not sure what I want to do here.
Well, there's a sure exit right up that trapdoor.
That's not a sure exit.
Someone said help, and you're a doctor.
I grab him by the arm. I'm trying to pull him towards the window.
The window's on the other side of Jonathan. Jonathan's between
that is
us and
correct.
the exit.
Jonathan is now between you and the exit. You are on the wrong end of the hallway.
Hesitating. This is why I'm very hesitant.
I stumble into the hallway.
You only live once, especially in a horror genre game. So I am going to pull like the rope cord or whatever it is, the release on the attic entrance.
Yeah, the ladder comes out of the attic entrance, slides down, and knocks Jonathan in the head, knocking him out onto the ground.
Oh, excellent!
That is hilarious. Bam!
All right, what do you get? What are you doing then, Alfred? You opened it.
Well, now that Jonathan's knocked unconscious, I'm tempted to not go upstairs and just try to leave the building like everyone else. What's Hugo doing?
I would
moving
say don't
towards the
forget
window.
about the wife.
I didn't hear the wife, so I'm moving towards the window and trying to get Alfred to come, confused why he's not coming.
Okay, I guess I'm following Hugo.
Okay, all right. So Hugo goes, and Madge, are you also leaving?
So yeah, I would have stumbled into the hallway, and I'm seeing them coming back toward me at this point.
Yep, they're coming back towards you, and they look like go, go, go.
Now, if I don't see or hear anything else, then I'll follow.
Okay, so the three of you rush back into the room, and you see the broken window. Each of you can do a physique and agility to make your way out the second story window.
Yeah, this is so bad for me. I'm going to injure myself. Everyone, I'm an old doctor. Go easy on me.
This is how Dan dies.
So you do in the game have the ability that if you're not taking an action to help. And so the two individuals who are already out on the ground, I would say would have the ability to help at least two of you as you're quickly rushing out. The third one's not going to get any help. So whichever one of you doesn't feel like you need the help, you're going to make the roll by yourself. The other two who are getting the help can have +2 more dice to their roll.
Oh, this sounds great. I would love that.
I don't need help. I got 5 die.
I already rolled, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then you might as well take it, Madge, because the other person has already rolled.
Okay, assuming I get help, I have 2 successes.
Okay, so Alfred makes it out. Madge?
I have 3 successes.
Madge makes it out. Hugo?
I got 1.
1 success. You all make it out of the building, tucking and rolling, except for Madge, who with 3 successes, we will say, gets the aforementioned superhero pose. Then you all back away from the house as it becomes fully engulfed in flames. Having just made it out in time, the attic a little obviously slower than the others. Alfred, in the back of your mind, you hear the voice calling for help that you made the drastic decision to ignore, and that voice is probably going to haunt you in your dreams.
Oh, yes, of course.
The rest of you find yourselves standing out in the cold, rainy night. The rain, though, not enough to dissipate the flames quickly lapping at this house. You stand there, and some of you, knowing that you needed to be looking for something in the garden, begin looking about. And you see before you a small, round, cellar-looking building.
Oh, no.
That looks like a potentially good and or awful place to look.
I look around real quick before I venture into this hole of death and see if I see a graveyard anywhere nearby.
And I'm specifically looking for tools such as shovels or anything like that. Or it says a shed maybe that might have shovels in it.
I have a bad feeling he's not buried.
I'm ticked off, so I'm just going to head to that that
You're just
that building.
honey badgering it. You're like, ah, heck with you people.
Well, even if it's not buried, we do have to bury it.
You got hands.
So you do see a garden-like space. You do not see any graveyard or headstones here. I will say, though, that in that moment, as you are trying to remind yourself or try to figure out a way to possibly bury this body that seems to be looking for what I believe you found out to be consecrated ground, you remember that not too far between here and the village is a church.
There we go.
That the reverend who or the priest who was inside, who now is most assuredly dead, was the vicar of.
While they're doing that stuff, I'm already seeing Madge heading straight for that.
Yeah, Madge is going straight for the building.
I'm just going to sit down on the ground and use the knowledge that I have and try that crystal ball again to see if I could try to figure out, piece together how to let this ghost rest.
Okay. Yep. Absolutely. Madge is making her way to the cellar building. Anybody else?
I am following Madge, but I am also letting her take the lead because I feel like bad stuff could happen.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
No
I have a
offense,
slight
Terrapin.
limp.
No offense.
So
I have a slight limp, and I'm mumbling and cursing and extremely irritated at this moment.
All right. So Madge and Alfred have began to make their way. Viola, what about you?
I'm also going to make my way to the building.
All right. So we got Viola, Madge, Alfred. What about Hugo?
I will
Just
be heading-
looking. You're heading there too.
But
Okay.
I'm looking for tools on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So the four of you make your way to the building, and you get there, and you open the door. It's not locked or anything. And inside, you expect to see kind of like a small shed-like building. So you're expecting, again, tools might be inside here. Could be a place to store vegetables from the garden. But when you open the door, you see a huge, dark cave that is vastly bigger than what you imagined from the walls surrounding it. On the walls are shelves of food crawling with maggots, bugs, and rats. And a strong wind blows from the building. And as it does, you hear a voice whispering and then shouting, "Albert, my love, my right to decline. You were my everything. You let Pyra kill me, and I will. Catcha, Hilma, I've seen things none of you could ever." And at that moment, you see standing before you a vision of a man in that cave. He's young, with expensive clothes and eyes glittering with love. He looks to the side as if there's someone there that you cannot see. And then his neck burst open as if cut by a knife, gushing blood. And he falls to the ground. He tries to scream, but only lets out a gurgling sound. And then his body begins to decay in an instant and is covered with maggots. The four of you now need to make a fear test of 2.
Well, this is not going to end well for me.
Pretty sure that just negated my entire crystal ball thing because now I know what has to happen.
So Ingrid is not there to give you their extra die, but again, you do get a maximum of 3, and there's 4 of you, so you get the extra 3 dice plus, again, either your logic or your empathy as you try to shake off this fear. Ingrid will not be making the roll.
Those extra 3 dice are supposed to help. You know. I rolled all of 8 dice. You want to know how many successes I got?
How many successes?
I got a big fat 0.
If you couldn't hear in my voice, I was smiling a little there.
I know.
No,
I would
I'm
like to
feeling a little
give
better.
Dan-
I got at least 1 success.
I'd like to give Dan a couple of my extra successes because I rolled 4.
Oh,
my goodness.
Wow.
And that
You are a rock, sir.
That is something that you can do. You can, if you roll extra successes, hand those over to one of your teammates. All right. So you will be keeping. Madge. Madge will be keeping 2 of those successes and giving 2 to Alfred.
Yeah.
Okay. Viola, what about you? What did you get?
I got 1 success.
1 success. And Hugo?
1 success.
1 success. All right. So Madge and Alfred are fine as they shake off this fear test of 2. But Hugo and Viola, you are below the threshold by 1. So both of you are now terrified. And you also take a point of a mental condition. So where does that put either of you on the mental condition track? I know that Viola took 1 physical condition previously, but I can't remember if Viola had taken any mental conditions.
I had been frightened before for the
All right.
first fear check.
Yep, so you would need to
So
take one of the other mental conditions then.
I will be angry.
Angry, all right. And what
Good choice.
about Hugo? Hugo on the mental
This-
conditions?
This is my first one, and I am also taking angry.
All right. So you're also angry. And what about you're terrified for that? What will you be? Fleeing, freezing, fainting? There's nothing to attack here. There's no hostile persons or creatures
Yet.
yet.
I'm just gonna freeze.
Okay, you're going to freeze. What about you, Viola?
I feel like it's a good time for dramatics. I'm going to faint.
Faint. All right.
Nice.
Body
Nice.
goes limp and a veil of darkness descends over the world. At this point, the two of you who are standing there who have shaken off the fear, you see where the vision of the individual fell. You see decomposing on the ground an actual corpse. Skeleton mostly at this point, just laying there, tossed on the ground.
Well, I'm assuming that's the body we need to get.
I am going to
Do you have
check
smelling
on
salts?
I am going to check on the fainted person. Yeah, I'm going to check on the fainted person. That seems like a good thing for me to do.
Make sure you do a lot of slapping.
Now I'm gonna do my
Now,
medicine
listen
roll.
here. We don't.
Wake up, slap, slap.
Extra slaps.
Now listen here.
I have a
That was
really.
just a child, okay? No assault on minors.
I am going to treat our fainted party member.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's my medicine roll.
Yeah, that would definitely. You got medicine and precision. You're rolling 6 dice there. You also have medical equipment, which gives you a +2 to that.
Okay, I forgot about the medical equipment, and it's a good thing that you reminded me because that's what gave me my one lousy success.
There you go.
I'm
That's all you
rolling
needed.
all these dice, and I got one success. Okay,
All right, so you got the success. Well done. So that is going to help treat your fainted party member. You get out the smelling salts
sure.
And slap.
and slap, of course. All right.
I accidentally snored the smelling salts because of being slapped.
All right. So you do seem to have a corpse there.
Congratulations, you got a dead body. I have a really bad feeling that the lady in the attic. We needed the lady in the attic, but we'll see.
Oh, I'm very certain that we probably need her, but
Yeah,
we
it's
can't cry
probably-
over burnt bodies. So
Probably the
So what's-
for body,
So what's
it's probably the
so what is
lover.
the group gonna wait? What's the group gonna do now?
Well, I'm in
we
the
need
field.
some way to retrieve the body and carry it down to the churchyard. We don't have any means to do that to my knowledge.
You've got arms and feet.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I've got a
about it.
crowbar.
So pick
Uh,
up the
pick a
dead body
crowbar.
and go.
You could pick up the crowbar.
can we fashion something with stuff that we have to
You
like?
you can find in the cellar like a tarp and some rope.
Yeah, let's
Well, there we
work
go.
with that. We'll use we'll gather the corpse or whatever remains we have here onto the tarp, and we can sort of carry the tarp or drag it or what have you,
While they're doing
or
all this,
tie it up and carry the bundle.
while they're doing all this, does my crystal ball help me out at all?
Did you roll anything for the crystal ball?
Oh, I don't know what to roll yet.
Let me check your character sheet.
Is a +1 for the crystal ball, but it depends. Like, I'm doing investigation logic, I guess,
Sure.
because I don't even know any of the things they saw.
Correct. You were not there. Ingrid likes to be off on their own, doing their own thing.
Yeah, Ingrid does what she wants. She's a honey badger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does what she wants. She got no successes doing what she wants.
No successes. So no, the crystal ball does not seem to be giving you the information you so longingly are seeking.
I shake it and then see if something bubbles up.
Yep, you see it. You see
Magic
it.
8 ball.
All of a sudden you see a little triangle come up and says "Try again later."
I put the crystal ball away and I just walked towards the other people.
All right. So you find the others seem to be, I'm assumingly, gingerly placing this body onto a tarp,
Yeah,
preparing it for travel.
say I'm glad I missed this part.
All right. So what is the party's plan now that the body is ready for travel?
I'd say go to the church.
Yeah,
Where's our
Gingerly
best
go to the
chance?
church.
Yeah, we're gonna head to the churchyard.
All right. So the group begins to walk towards down the road towards Sigtuna. You do see ahead of you. So you do see ahead of you the church steeple as well. So you do make it down to the churchyard eventually to where the grave site is outside of the church with all the headstones. You know this to be a consecrated ground, seeing as it's right next to the church. And I would say that Hugo, having been the one saying they were looking for gardening tools, would have found a shovel previously in the cellar.
I'm beaming as I just carry it over my shoulder while they
All right.
carry the body.
This person that we found the remains of, do we know who this was exactly?
Yeah, Sugo.
Okay, it was.
What, you just
No,
what?
it's not me. I'm Hugo.
Oh, Oscar.
Correct.
Sorry, Oscar. It's Oscar. We should bury
Oscar.
Hugo. No,
So
it was Oscar's
I am-
body. Oscar's
I am
body,
going to
sorry.
look to see if Oscar was given a grave marker.
There is no grave marker here for Oscar, no.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, jealous fit, Oscar died. Pretty sure we either needed the wife or the daughter.
Yeah, does the body look like it had been desecrated?
It would be hard to tell that for the amount of time that has passed. When I say body, I was probably being a little too nice. It's pretty much just a skeleton that you're finding. Like you're
Mhm.
it's just those remains.
All right. Let's try and find a piece of earth in this churchyard that we can lay him to rest in.
All right, so there's you would find definitely a piece of unbroken earth in this graveyard.
Okay, I guess I start digging.
All right, you dig. You begin to dig and dig and dig until you feel like you have a spot large enough to properly house said remains.
Okay, Ingrid, is there a ritual you have to perform while we
Well, you guys are just as versed as rituals as I am, because we're all part of the society. So when we put them in the ground, then we're going to have to try to do a ritual and see if it works.
I tell Ingrid that I have no clue what these rituals are, so she needs to tell us what to do.
How did you get part of the society? Chasing Vaesen around? You don't even know how to take care of them?
As Hugo finishes digging the grave, the entire party sees the gentleman they saw earlier. This would be Ingrid's first time seeing him, the one whose throat had been cut and he, screamed out, and then everybody had to take that fear test. You see him standing there at the head of the grave, having just appeared there. And he, for the first time since the couple of times that you've seen him kind of quickly appear, he's smiling and kind of has his head slightly bowed and with a look of appreciation at the party.
All right, I start the ritual while they bury him.
Okay. They place the tarp and the corpse into the ground. Hugo putting on one shovel full of dirt at a time. And as the last bit of dirt falls onto the grave, Oscar disappears.
Excellent. That could have been worse.
Well, never mind the fact that the entire village died in that fire, but,
It's more jobs for another time, right?
You do know that the carriage that brought you here was headed towards Sigtuna after having dropped you off. The sleeping town is just another half a mile or so down the road. And the society members, having solved the mystery at the Witch Cat Inn, walks away towards Sigtuna. The rain slowly dissipates for the first time all evening, begins to warm up just ever so slightly. And as you all walk away, you begin to be pleased with yourselves, having successfully solved your first mystery and appeasing and helping your first Vaesen find peace. But in the back of Alfred's head, he continues to hear the lone voice coughing from the attic, and he remembers in the last moment that the last and only other person the party saw go upstairs was the daughter Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where we will end tonight's session.
See, my character would probably wink at him and say, "Hey, Alfred, I'm pretty sure all those people are fine over there," even though I don't even know about the other part.
cool.
And just walk into the sunset.
Yeah.
And
What's up?
everybody,
No doubts that moment of hesitation / self-preservation will color my character's actions in any future campaigns that I would run with him.
absolutely. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed your first session of Vaesen. I know I enjoyed running it. And for those of you listening, I highly recommend it. I'm loving the books. They are beautifully done, just like everything else Free League Publishing puts out. This adventure, like I said, comes in the book itself. And there is also a second book that they've put out that comes with, I think, at least 5 or 6 other mysteries that are pre-written and ready for you to run. And they just finished last year, at the end of last year, successfully kickstarting another book that takes place in like England and Britain and Ireland and all that area, introducing some probably slightly more well-known Vaesen to some of us Westerners over here. But I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that as well. I'm sure I butchered some of the rules as we played, but the goal of a role-playing game is for everybody to have fun. And players, did you have a good time?
Oh, heck yeah. I didn't
I had a
die.
great time.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was a little afraid for Alfred there at the end, but Madge coming in clutch with those extra successes.
Well, we did never use
That's
the
what I do.
ability. You can push rolls, which you never did, where we could re-roll.
That is true. I didn't mention the pushing rolls. You can push rolls to re-roll, but you immediately take one either physical or mental condition when you do re-roll. So that could have upped the physical and mental conditions happening a little quicker. But that is an option when you play the game. You can do that.
Yeah,
But I wanted to clarify, I think Olas Clint, or the detective that got us the job in the first place, also died?
You do not know. You weren't on that first floor when the fire was lit.
True.
Maybe he did it.
I don't know. I just wanted to throw out that the physical books for Vaesen are the best books I've ever seen in my entire life. RPG books.
They have this fantastic texture to them, and the paper is kind of like this almost like old style paper feel. Most RPGs come with like really heavy silk, like slick covers and slick paper. This is not that. It's kind of light paper. It does give it, again, the theme or the setting for the game is like this like 19th century setting, and I feel like the books definitely lean into that, and I'm very excited to say that when they did the new edition of The One Ring, they chose to use the exact same materials for that book as well, which made me very happy.
Yeah.
This is also Free League, right? They make amazing books.
Yeah, Free League makes some really amazing games, books, and starter sets. So this was Vaesen, and I'm looking forward to running a couple of their other games that I've been reading up on. I do really want to run Twilight 2000 for you all, but I think that's going to need to be an in-person game. So maybe we'll just have to talk afterwards about what we thought about it. So we'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys, tonight. Everybody, thank you for listening to us play Vaesen. We really enjoyed it. We hope you did as well. And if you're interested in checking it out yourself, you can head on over to freeleaguepublishing.com to check that out, and check out all of our other podcast episodes. You can go to our YouTube channel, check out all the great review videos. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you have any feedback for us, feel free to visit us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Board Game Geek Guild 2989, or our website at tabletopgamingguild.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and or subscribe. Tabletop Gaming Guild is a product of Tabletop Gaming Guild, LLC. All rights reserved.